Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. It is the 5th day of July, and if you are hearing the sound of my voice, it means you survived last night's extravaganza of illegal fireworks. The skies were alight till about 3 o'clock in the morning, all up and down the Southern California landscape of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of illegal fireworks. Some of the illegal fireworks displays were, I have to say, actually better than some of the professional displays I've seen in the past. Up to the point where the people started putting the fireworks in trash cans and in people's streets and down alleyways and throwing them at dogs. But there was like 5 minutes there when it was actually pretty nice. Anyways, enough of that. It's Sunday, which means it's time for gaming news, where I peruse and peruse and purloin from the various websites to see what's interesting and going on this week in our beloved hobby. Starting with what Kickstarters and crowdfunders are coming to an end this week. So, Terra Oblivion from Caripra Publishing, which is a Mythic D6 supplement, a post-apocalyptic game of eco-espionage set in a world slowly being killed by humanity. So some little political commentary in your role-playing game there. That ends July 10th. Neglo Disaporia from MV Media LLC, which is an original RPG, ends its Kickstarter crowdfunding on July 15. This is an African martial artist comic book series based upon the award-winning screenplay for a movie called Ngola. It's okay. I have to look into that one. Book of Dungeons and Encounters for use with fantasy RPGs by Philip Reed Games. It's a system neutral, so D&D. Book of Encounters, monster manuals, traps, stuff like that. That ends its Kickstarter crowdfunding on July 9th. The Never-Ending Bring Your Stories to Life from Never-Ending Inc. It's an online character build type thing. That's ending its Kickstarter / crowdfunding on July 12th. So it's, like a Hero Forge type of thing. You go on, you make your character, and then you download the picture. 5e D&D Pathfinder First Edition module The Collector by Zan's Adventures. It's a Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder adventure. It ends its Kickstarter on Sunday, 9/12, and it's about a guy who collects things and wants you to go collect more things, I guess. In Between Worlds from Texas and August Studios. It is a Fate rulebook. It ends its Kickstarter crowdfunding on July 16. This is our RPG supplement about an inn and tavern that sits on the damage up to reality. So, a well between worlds type of things. And that's pretty much it. Slow week for Kickstarter / crowdfundings, but all things considering, that kind of makes sense. All right, what's going on in the world of our hobby that doesn't relate to people trying to get some product banned? There is a mass combat rule system options coming out from the EN Insider Peeper. Another person has been hired from Wizards of the Coast for claims of racist hiring practices and accusations of plagiarisms. Remember, innocent until proven guilty. Crucible 7 has announced another product lineup for Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory, including a new player's guide and a vehicle guide. So they are really ramping up their support for the Warhammer. In addition to, there's more stuff out for Fantasy Warhammer. The Enemy Within has been released. Jeremy Crawford has addressed changes coming to how alignment will be handled in future Dungeons & Dragons products coming forward, because apparently now also alignment is somehow triggering something. Sponsor me, Venom. Jesus fucking Christ, guys. It's a game. Alligator Alley Entertainment has previews coming up for a 5e powered Esper Genesis sci-fi role-playing game called the Master's Technician Guide, because converting things to 5e Since 5e falls under the OGL is a good thing, and now's a good time to take the 5e engine and start pushing it past its restraints. So yes, more on you guys. Rebellion Unplugged, the tabletop gaming arm of 2000 D&D and Judge Dredd, announced a new role-playing game magazine on Kickstarter, Adventure, and it comes with a complete RPG called Tartarus Gate. Coming soon from Pazio, we have a roundup of what Pazio's got coming up. We've got a Pathfinder 2 Beastry Battle and Chase cards, which means there's a Pathfinder 2 Beastry coming out. We've got, it looks like it, just most stuff cards. So if you're not familiar with the chase cards and battle cards, it's basically 3x5 type cards that have all the information on one side of the monster or encounter, and on the other side they have the picture of the monster in the encounter or whatever. Michael Cheska continues his deep dive into the histories of monsters in our beloved Dungeons & Dragons and how they got their birth from Ultraman and kaiju toys. So this week he looks into the Owlbear. Warlock from the Shore has an announcement that they might make an announcement about making an announcement pretty soon. So basically Warlocks of the Shore are making fun of themselves about... it's obviously a play on Wizards of the Coast, and it's a satire of the fact that Wizards of the Coast is making announcements about that they're going to be announcing something. In case you didn't hear me say it last week or the week before, the 5e sourcebook Mythical Figures and Maleficent Monsters is now live. It has been live on Kickstarter for a couple weeks now. They have really been pushing this. It's a 235-page hardcover 5e, hundreds of figures from history, myth, legend, tall tales, Dracula, Paul Bunyan, the Loch Ness Monster, Cthulhu. Hopefully these guys have gotten the rights to use all these. The 2020 Emmy Award nominations were announced along with the Judges' Spotlights winners. And if I talked about this in another one, but if you haven't had time to check out the Emmy Awards and vote yet, do go and check it out. And it looks like our big winner this year is either going to be Muckborg or Zombieland. Prolific role-playing game artist Jim Holloway passed away on June 28th. He is most well known for art for Dungeons & Dragons, Star Frontiers, Paranoia, Tales from the Floating Vagabond, Chill, and Dungeon Crawl Classics. Chill, a unrepresented but very well-written horror game from the 80s. Okay, and of course the big one. The Dungeons Master Guild faced criticism on social media for the removal of an LGBTQ-themed adventure for the reason of sexual content. And apparently, members of the LGBTQ were triggered because there was sexual content in this product, which went against the Dungeon Masters Guild's policy about sexual content. So they removed it, and people thought this was an attack against gays and lesbians as opposed to just, hey, we don't want nudity on our site. So there's a lot of links. There's a lot of versions of the story. There's a lot of ways to look at it. I'm just going to say the same thing I'll say. Censorship, bad. Supporting LGBTQ, good. If the publishing policies say no nudity, then before you should probably read the policies you're agreeing to before you put it up there. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff on this, and I'm not in a position to talk about it, but just go check it out. It's on the DMs Guild, and make your own thing about whether you agree with this poll or not. Yeah, I have no opinion. Cards Against the Humanity is also getting a lot of slack all of a sudden because people are offended by Cards Against the Humanity. Of course, the whole point of the game of Cards Against Humanity is offensive. And now there's a whole bunch of claims that the company that made Cards Against Humanity is actually a bunch of jackasses who are racist and sexist and anti-Semitic and anti-union and just this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, a bunch of people who got together to make an offensive role-playing game, offensive card game, are offensive human beings in real life. You know, that's not that far of a leap to figure out that these guys probably are pretty fucked up if they came up with Cards Against Humanity. Because it's a pretty fucked up card game. Okay. And Torg Eternity Tharkhold is getting Kickstartered. So if you want to support Torg, go check out that Kickstarter. Steve Jackson Games laid down a challenge. Can the fans fund 12 PDF products for GURPS in the pan of a Kickstarter campaign? So basically, hey, you know, a lot of GURPS products coming out that they want to repush or kickstart or remake, and they want you to support them. So, you know, support Steve Jackson Games. Because we know GURPS changed the face of role-playing. And finally, we have, of course, the tale of our friend, Miss Elizabeth, the artist. If you're not familiar with this, Elizabeth Eden, a artist for Wizards of the Coast, got fired from Wizards of the Coast because there was some of her cards had sexual imagery on it, and she, on her fans only NSFW website, where there are some not safe for work pictures of the young woman and her rather impressive attributes. They say that she used magic cards or created pornographic magic cards or used magic cards in a pornographic way, so she got fired because she violated some Wizards of the Coast. You can't have nude women associated with magic. Let's not forget that there are tons of sexually suggestive magic cards dating all the way back to Magic Beta and Alpha with Earthbind and the Earthbound Bondage Fairy. And, of course, all the pictures of the handsome, young, scantily clad men with, ooh, you know, whatever. And there are tons of NSW magic card that you can get on Etsy and eBay. You know, there's and stuff. People have done anime boob versions of classic magic cards, and I've seen a whole bunch of ones where all the lands are actually just waifus and bondage and stuff. So why did they go after this woman? Because she shows cleavage on a not safe for work, fans only 18 plus website that has nothing to do with her time at Wizards of the Coast. Who knows? And when will it end? But whatever. So I don't know what to say about that. We know I'm not happy with Wizards of the Coast right now anyway, so really I'm in no position to talk about Wizards of the Coast. Sponsor me, Venom! Anyways, that's all the news I feel like talking about, and of course, Wizards of the Coast, the one good thing they're doing is still posting free RPG product every day on their COVID-19 resource support site. So if you want to get your hands on a ton of D&D related PDFs, go check it out. If you're looking for some non-D&D stuff, go check out Drive-Thru RPGs, free or pay what you want link, because there's a ton of good stuff going up there every week, including complete entire role-playing games. Right now you can get a bunch of Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, which is still, I think, an amazing system that just needs that little push. And it looks like they're doing it because they're rewriting Powered by the Apocalypse to be a little bit more approachable and a little less, hey, we have these sex powers. So now is a good time to start supporting Powered by the Apocalypse and other free pay-what-you-want games. So Drive-Thru RPG, pay what you want if you're looking for some non-free D&D stuff. And if you're looking for free D&D stuff, Wizards of the Coast is definitely putting out a ton of great stuff. So that's it for the news today. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming. Don't pay attention to anything I say because I'm an idiot. and I will talk to you losers later.